What's up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to the Fragrant Flower Blossoms with Dignity, this time with episode 8. Good episode last week, although I did wish we did get to see a little bit more action, as people did let me know in the comments. Obviously this is not an action show, but doesn't mean that you can't have aspects of that stuff in there, and I thought that would have been cool to see, but otherwise it was a pretty awesome episode, wasn't it? Probably looks okay to you guys because the screen's a bit smaller, but the subtitles are a little bit blurry. I can probably get by though. Yeah, we did end up the episode in a nice way with Rintaro and Saku having a nice little word. Boys done a pretty good job of stalking last week, didn't they? But yeah, as I said, the subtitles are a little bit kind of like not great quality, but I think I'll be able to get by. You guys know I'm pretty picky with my subtitles. They got to have a bold black outline, and they've got to be a decent size. And I think this is like just teetering on, because it's hard enough kind of concentrating on both the visuals and the subtitles. I think it's definitely a lot easier in anime. But a huge reason why I didn't watch too many foreign movies years ago was the fact that it's so hard with live action to keep up with the visuals and read what's going on. But that's something I've got better at since watching anime. And I think anime is a little bit easier because there's not as many details to worry about. But yeah, obviously bigger, better subtitles make it a little bit easier. That's also why maybe some anime might feel better for people who watch sub rather than dub, because it doesn't matter as much if you've got like a still image if you're reading sub, because you're reading, whereas in dub you're just kind of watching nothing, I guess. But yeah, I've watched a lot of really good foreign movies recently. And the last one was Train to Busan, which was really awesome. And I think I'm gonna watch Memories of Murder tonight. Sounds like it'd be really good. Same guy that made The Host, I believe. And Parasite, although I haven't seen that yet either. I have seen a bit of The Host. Back in like the late 2000s, I think. I was really young. You know, I always used, my say used to be second best. First the worst, second the best. So I always used to aim to get second. But I always done my best, but you know what I'm saying? Like if I did get second, it would be just as good as winning. There was also a very interesting look between Subaru and Saku, wasn't there? A very interesting look. A look that may have lasted a split second, but spoke a lot of words to the viewer, I think. And may bring up many spoken words between the two in the future, potentially. Or maybe it was just a red herring. I doubt it, but it certainly was interesting. But I apologise. Good on you. Yeah, it's just another occurrence to these guys, to be honest, isn't it? I do think Saku probably needs to apologise as well, doesn't he? Because he was quite harsh. As much as I quite liked him snapping back, he was also quite harsh. So I think he probably needs to apologise as well. I did say this last week that this is definitely like the issue I'm having with the show. The biggest issue I have, again, don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying it, but everybody's like a perfect person. Like, I think I heard someone say, which really resonated with me. They make a big deal out of these small things, and it feels like a big deal, but in actuality, when you do change perspective and like look back at things, um, I know there's a lot online on the line with Waggery and such with her school, but it's not actually nearly as dramatic as it makes out to be. And you can say that about a lot of romance shows, especially I think. But like I said, it just feels like everybody's like a bit too perfect. People did let me know in the comments that will be addressed in the future, especially with Waggery's character. So I do look forward to that. But that's just my current kind of thoughts at the minute. Like, I'll always compare a romance with like a Nana, for example, and it might be an unfair comparison because Nala is absolutely fantastic, but I think of the way the characters are written there, they're all so flawed, and that's what makes them so endearing. That's why you care about them so much, why you relate to them so much. It's hard to relate to a perfect person. It's hard to relate to, like, you can be a nice person, but it's hard to relate to people like this, nice and perfect and do everything right, if you know what I'm saying. Much easier to relate to, again, like a Nana character that has plenty of flaws, that are naive, that are maybe wrong, do bad things. I mean, yes, we've seen Subaru and Saku kind of do bad things, but it's like it's easily addressed here, isn't it? But yeah, bit of an unfair comparison, to be honest. But to counterpoint that, would Subaru have seen herself half a year ago in this situation? Absolutely not. So this is some nice progress on her end, isn't it? I do think that point I was talking about that very much does lie more with the main leads, and it usually does, to be honest with you. I feel like I think I say this often, but a lot of the time in romance shows, a lot of the side characters and the side romances end up being my favourite. Maybe because the author and such is willing to take a bit more of a risk and a chance with the side cast. But that is a definite kind of pattern I've seen throughout my like romance anime. It's actually, they must do it. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot where the main characters are my favourites, but um, I think it's a very good sign if the main characters are the ones I'm most invested in, which sounds just wrong, but yeah. It's a bit like Superman as well. I'm not a big fan of Superman just as a character and as a being. Maybe I'm a bit like Lex Luthor, but yeah, I'm much more interested in like the cast around him than the main dude. I don't know. Which is a date. Which is exactly what you do on a date. You should have a little bit of fun yourself, of course. That's the thing. If she has fun, you'll have fun. Oh, cool little sea fish. Yeah, that's the one from Finding Nemo. Ori? Mary? It's been almost 20 years since I watched that movie. Bloody hell. Is it Dory? I don't know. But yeah, the question is like I'm wondering just how long can we go with it just being Waggery's the cute girl? How long can we go with this? How many more times? Like again, probably an unpopular opinion, but how many like the shot we had of them just after they got off the train, like, oh, we're on the same train, ha. And it was like a nice moment. But how many more of these moments can I have where it's just like a nice moment, if you know what I'm saying, where there's not again, some of you guys won't like this, but there's not too much depth to their relationship at the minute. I don't personally think. Yes, there's circumstances, the school stuff, and the prejudices, and them kind of defying that. But there's not actually too much weight to it. There's not actually too much of delved into each of them at the minute, in my opinion. So it really kind of like the more we see those cute scenes, yes, they're nice, but it just makes me kind of look deeper into it, and then there's like nothing there. So it's like the more I see of them, the less I care. Whereas that should be the opposite. So again, I'm hoping the character development for both of these guys amps up in this second half of the season. Because yeah, this like I said, at the minute, I think if Saku and Subaru were in a relationship, I would certainly find them more interesting. And I am like just off their promise of there being a premise of those two kind of maybe being in a relationship, that's already kind of more interesting. And it goes to that thing I said earlier about the side characters being more interesting than the main characters. So that the show is in kind of danger of that happening at the minute. I say in danger like it's a bad thing. Like it's a good thing that there's really interesting side characters, but there's actually more there between those two already that I'd find interesting than between these two. It's like get to the stage of like, and I should be feeling like that. I should be like smiling and happy, and I have been. But it's getting to that point of oh, when okay, I get it. She's cute. When are we going to get something deeper, more meaningful? That's a classic. That is. I went on one of these when I went to Holland on a football trip, and we found a Jeffrey on the floor, just like a loose joint. But it wasn't weed. It was something else because it made us go crazy. And it didn't taste like anything I'd ever smoked before. And we went on that ride straight after, and it was nuts. But yeah, it must have had some kind of class A drug in it other than weed because it sent us crazy. Like literally crazy. Dolphins can be tricky little creatures, can't they? Pretty sure they're really smart, aren't they? I've never been to a dolphin show. I don't think. Maybe when I was younger, perhaps, but I've seen like videos and like intentionally like splashing people and stuff. Very naughty little creatures. What was that about? The off-screen kid ran up to her, done nothing. A lost kid? And she came up to you. Of course she did. Plenty of mothers here. I feel like logically, and maybe you shouldn't think about things like this logically, but I feel like a kid logically would go up to a person that looks like a mum. That looks like a something that's close to they're looking for. But it's one of those things where I assume she came up to her because she was the nicest looking person in the room. So of course, again at this point it's almost like it's growing old a little bit. It's like, hey, we get it. We get it. We know what type of person she is. I know that sounds bad, but it's just like how I'm feeling. It's like the surface level niceness is growing a bit old on me. I need this. I need to see more of her ASAP. It's been 8 episodes. Like it's been a while. Honestly, she might be a good thing to happen to a date. To be honest, shows you how it shows you how like how your partner could interact with children in the future, and it could show some red flags. So I think this is a good thing to happen if you're on a date with someone actually. He's good on the monkey bars. The number one thing you look for in a boyfriend. Honestly, not even inaccurate. I don't think. Got to be good on the monkey bars. Well, they almost do look a little bit like her parents. Obviously, they got the main character kind of standout features, but if you took those away, they actually look quite similar. Oh, what? They can't even get wet. Half the fun of it. Water curtain. I'm assuming that's like a curtain to stop people getting wet. This place got busy quickly. Oh no, it's not. It's literally a water curtain, not a curtain for water, which is what I think you normally assume, right? Maybe not a dolphin performance. Tell you what, yeah, that looks amazing, doesn't it? That is one thing you can't argue about the show whatsoever. The show does look incredible, doesn't it? That's why I wanted to see that fight scene last week, because I knew it would look good if they did do it. But yeah, that looks amazing right there. Was that hand drawn? I'd be pretty impressed if it was. Like how many? So again, very unpopular opinion. I know this is going to be, but how many times is this show just going to get off on showing a cute, waggery smile, and that's it? How many times is this going to happen? This show is peak. This show is 10 out of 10, and this is the reason why. Just because it shows a smile like this. It's had some decent writing up until now, but just not enough of it. I don't think. Nowhere near enough of it. What's happened today? Not much, in my opinion. Not much. The meaning of these feelings. Okay, so yeah, not a great episode today, in my opinion. Again, probably some people's favourites, just because this was almost like if we did have a bunch of character development and they went through like whole situations, like this would be an awesome episode for me. Like this would be just like a fan service episode of just seeing them have fun and on a date and just have a really nice time. Like that would be awesome. But we haven't had that yet, so it does feel a bit weightless to me. And again, I bring up like Nana, like everything in that show in that manga is so heavy, and the character's so realistic and human. And again, inevitably, I'm going to compare to that. And this show, just like it's just it's not a great comparison. It doesn't bode well for this show. That's what I'm trying to say. As I said earlier, I feel like I'd actually, if we did spend a bit more time with Saku and Subaru, which we inevitably will in the future, I kind of more interested in the premise of their relationship than anything that was seen from these two so far. But yeah, thank you for watching. Again, I imagine it's going to be the case of like I go on because I like reading the discussions and stuff like this. I'm going to go on the discussion. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh my god, that was the cutest, best episode ever." And for me, maybe it's because of again where I'm at with the show. It's just felt like a bit of a nothing episode. It didn't for the first like 5 or so minutes. I thought it was quite nice seeing Subaru with the boys after she apologized. That was a really awesome moment. Saku apologizing as well. I thought was really cool. And then we went on this date, which again was nice. but was ultimately just like a collection of cute moments that I've had throughout the whole anime so far that are in place of, like, I'd probably much more enjoy this in season 2 after we've had more development with Rintaro and Wagari and actually kind of looked more into their characters and seeing them as people, seeing some of their flaws, seeing some of the issues in their relationship, which again you can't say we haven't seen, because it's like the whole point is that Wagari's kind of going against what should be the issue, being that he is a boy from that school. She shouldn't be seen with him, and she shouldn't be going out with a boy from there, otherwise she'll get kicked out of her school. And because she's kind of going against that, obviously that's not really like a point of conflict or anything at the minute. I think it inevitably will be when people find out and such, when more people find out anyway. But currently, again, it just feels a bit empty, feels a bit weightless. Like, again, it just feels like the Anya situation, another unpopular opinion of, I stopped watching Spy Family just because it did feel a bit soulless. It just felt like Anya, the kid character, written to be cute and funny, and that's like, yes, that's what she was, but there wasn't anything more to that, and it's just like, I don't know, there's just something after a while of watching that show of it just felt like the writing for the character was, oh, make this scene cute and funny, make this scene cute and funny, and there wasn't much more to it than that. So I ended up not liking that show too much, and it feels the same thing here with Wagari. It's like, cute moment, smile, cute moment, smile, and not much else than that. That's enough to get by for a lot of people. Not for me. I kind of want some good writing here. I want more depth to the characters. So yeah, I think this episode didn't go down as well with me because I'm really in need of that at the minute with this show. Maybe it's because we've had a taste of that with the Subaru stuff as well lately, that I'd hope they continue that, but I guess they might want a bit of a break from it. So yeah, it wasn't a terrible episode or anything, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I probably would have enjoyed this if it was in maybe season 2 or 3 and we've had quite a bit of development at that point, but as of right now, wasn't majorly impressed with this, and ultimately I've not been too majorly impressed with the show thus far. Again, the writing has been good when it has kind of delved into it, but it's just like the main relationship, the main thing we've been focusing on, the two characters we've seen the most of, still the least interesting aspect of the show for me at the minute. And to have a whole episode of basically fan service for those two, it feels a bit unwarranted. I don't know. I'm probably on an island with that opinion, but yeah, do let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, there's probably plenty of people that do disagree, so please do let me know why. Leave a like on the video though if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date, and I'll see you guys next week with episode 9.